Hello, good evening. It has been a while. It's been quite a while. Gosh, I think the last time I spoke to you was maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, but not beyond that, I don't think. Before I have a quick chat about the week, you may be able to tell it's really dark. We have these new light bulbs, not light bulbs, light shades, that I did point out earlier in the week. But they are lovely and we do appreciate them, and it's nicer than having like the light directly in our eyes, but it is significantly darker. I've got the like hob light on here, so that's why we're getting a little bit of light from this side, but let me switch it off just to give you an idea. Like, that is so dark. Even when we didn't have the light shades, I thought about having a light by my bed just for like reading and colouring and things like that. But now even more so, I feel like that's probably a good idea. Anyway, this week has been really nice. Monday, I went to see The Devil Wears Prada. I think I spoke to you about that. And then Tuesday, I went to a dance class with a friend, which was also really nice. Wednesday, I was meant to work late, but in the end, I didn't, which was great. So I actually only worked from 12 till 5 and Wayne was home the whole day. So it was just really nice. And I think when I got home, we either watched something or we played It Takes Two, which was like such a treat. And I have a feeling he made food, but I can't remember what. Oh, actually, we might have done hot dogs. But anyway, just nice to get to spend time with him, because that doesn't happen often. And then Thursday, I had a really long day at work. I went in at 8, and then we had an event on that started basically when I finished work. I finished work at like 6:15, and it started at 6:30. Luckily, it was in the same building, and it went on, I think I left around 9:30. It did go on beyond that, but I was tired, and B, Wayne was home at that time, so I wanted to see him. The work event was actually really nice, really, really lovely. We've got quite a big team. This is the local job, and because of my other job, there are some team members I never see because they only work the days that I'm not there. So it was really, really lovely to get to see some of these people who I see rarely, and also to meet some new people. It was just a really nice event, actually. Slightly longer than I'd wanted, but overall really nice. And then yesterday, again, I finished work early, which was very nice, and Wayne was home, which made it even more nice. And we definitely played It Takes Two until Shabbat came in. And then we went to my grandma's, where my cousin also joined, who I haven't seen in quite a while, probably 6 weeks. So that was also really lovely. And then today I went to shul, which was nice, and then went to my grandma's for lunch, which was also nice and didn't go on too late. And then I've just come home and chilled. As you can probably tell, I've washed my hair, which is very nice. And I've just finished editing a video, which is just saving now, which is also good because of the Australian Open, I've done very little editing or watching YouTube, which is not a bad thing. I'm very glad that I'm able to watch the Australian Open, and I know that after tomorrow I'm going to be very sad that there's no tennis to watch until like June, but it has meant I've fallen behind on other things. So I was editing the video, and then I've also just started watching some YouTube videos, and I thought, actually, let me come say hi before I eat. It's 8:45 now, so it's been a couple of hours since Shabbat went out. But yeah, it's been a really, really good week. The week ahead, finally, is looking a bit calmer. And don't get me wrong, I've had a great time the last couple of weeks. I've really enjoyed all the things I've done, and I'm reflecting on January with such positivity. It's been such a good month, and really unexpected, I would say. I mean, I knew one of my friends from Australia was coming, and I knew that was exciting, but aside from that, I definitely didn't know about all the other things that would end up happening this month. And I think I'll talk about it more in my January reviews video, which will have already gone up months before you're seeing this. But yeah, I feel like I've started the year very, very strong. I'm also doing a performing thing in a couple of weeks, and for that, they've sent me 2 songs that I need to learn, which is so fun, but also really hard. In total, I'm going to be singing 3.5 songs. They haven't decided on the half yet. One of the songs is Come to Your Senses, which is a song I'm quite familiar with, so that should be okay. One of the songs I'm singing as a duet. It's not really a duet. I would say it's multiple people, but I think it's mainly going to be me and one other person. And it is a song that exists on Spotify, but it's not like a very well-known song, so I'm definitely trying to spend some time learning that. And to be honest, I'm just glad it exists on Spotify, because initially they sent me a link to something I think called Deezer maybe, which is also like a music streaming platform. But I don't have an account, and I tried to create an account, and even with an account you couldn't like listen to the song. So I was very glad to find it on Spotify. And then the third one, I need to check if it's on Spotify, but I don't think so. And they've sent me a version, but the version is not the full version that they've sent me in the sheet music, and I can't sight read, so I'm a little bit concerned about how that's going to play out. I might need to see, I don't know, I'll have to see what I do. I was a little bit nervous vocally that it was going to be slightly too high for me, but I did sing through it a couple of times after Shabbat went out, and I think I'll be okay. I just need to find the placement because I haven't done more floaty stuff in a while. I generally just go for belts, or like mix, but this is somewhere else. So I just need to get used to get that back in my voice. And also for that one, I don't have a backing track. Actually, for none of them, I have a backing track. Well, I do for Come to Your Senses, obviously, but yeah, I find it hard to practice when I don't know what the piano is going to be giving me on the day, and they haven't yet said anything about rehearsals, so I'm a little bit nervous, but it's fun. It's so fun to like activate this part of my brain and force myself to sing, because it's so rare that I do that. And especially learning new songs. I only ever really do it for auditions, if there's like a self-tape or any audition where they ask me to learn a new song. And I think the last time that happened was when I documented it like a year ago. So it's really fun to dig in. But I think it's going to consume all of my next 2 weeks. But it's very exciting. It's so fun to be in that space. And I was practicing Come to Your Senses as well this evening. And it just felt so comfortable in my voice. And like I felt I almost don't dare say this, but I felt like a good singer, and that's so rare for me. It's definitely grown. I mean, if you were watching me over my river cruise vlogs, you could probably see week by week my confidence grow. But especially having A, not sung properly in a while, but B, not sung for professional reasons in quite a while, it's really nice to know that it is still in there, it does still feel good, and yeah, I feel confident with that one. So even if I struggle with learning the other two, at least I've got one big big song that I can trust. I hope. I do need to practice it enough times as well so that I'm not like questioning myself. But yeah, anyway, but all exciting things, all really fun things. And now I'm gonna have some food. We have so much food at home. Actually, not anymore. We're finally getting down to the leftover, the end of the leftovers. But I feel like I haven't had to worry about food in quite a while, which again, I'm never going to complain about. But tonight I'm going to have the last little bit of the rice and korma, and then tomorrow, either for lunch or supper, I will have the rest of the pasta bolognese, and then we'll be done. I do still have 3 soups in the freezer and I think some rice, but nothing in the fridge, which is good. Because, oh, actually I do, it's not leftovers, but I have that fake chicken that I need to use, I think, in the next week or 2. So I do need to think about that. But I like not having too much in the fridge to worry about. Although again, I'm very grateful that I have leftovers. So I'm gonna eat now. I'm gonna watch some more of Riley Autumn while my video continues saving. And then I'll probably have a pretty chill end of my evening. And then tomorrow morning I'm working from home, which is really lovely. And it's especially lovely because it's gonna be the men's finals. And I am very keen to watch that. I was sad to miss the women's this morning, but I'm hoping the men's will be good. I hope. And what's especially great about being here is that I can probably watch it on Wayne's laptop, because I presume he'll leave his laptop here, and I can work on my own laptop, so I don't even have to like flick between different tabs. Anyway, whatever, I'll talk to you tomorrow, I'm sure, about all that, but I think I'm going to leave it here for now, for today, so I will see you all very soon. Bye! Hello, I have had a very good day so far. I worked from home, which was nice, and it meant I got to watch the tennis, which was good, although it kept cutting out, and especially the very final point, I was trying to watch it on Wayne's laptop while I was working on my own, and I'd had his unplugged for quite a while, and I realised the battery was dropping, so I went to plug it in like right towards the end of the match, and what I didn't realise is that just before I plugged it in, Wayne had switched off the plug, so it literally got to Alcaraz having 2, I think, championship points, and as it said that, the whole laptop just shut off, no warning, and I couldn't believe it. So I tried to get it up on my own computer, but by that point he'd already won, but I'm very happy he won. I was rooting for him. And then I've been doing a bit of editing, a bit of YouTube watching, but not very much, a little bit of trying to learn the songs again, but also not very much. Also did the laundry, which was good, and now after literally about an hour, maybe an hour and a half of sitting debating whether or not I should, I'm going for a run. I'm going to aim for 5k, ideally without stopping, but if I need to stop, so be it. Although I would like to get to at least 3 without stopping, definitely. It is already 3 o'clock, and so I think A, the sun will be setting, soonish, and B, the park will be closing soonish, so I do just need to get out there and just do half an hour and then come home and hopefully not get kicked out before then. So I'm very quickly just going to swing my legs. I'm not going to do a proper warm-up, then I'm going to head out, and then I'll talk to you when I'm back. I'm glad I'm going. I'm glad I'm committing, because I've been debating it all morning. All right, see you later. Right, I'm almost at 4 kilometres. I'm actually feeling pretty good. I've got a slight twinge in my right ankle and a slight twinge in my left knee, but like mentally and stamina-wise, I feel very good. We're gonna push for 5, come on. I just filmed a whole bit and then it cut out, so I'm hoping it's filming now. I'm very warm, I'm quite sweaty, but I am very proud of myself. My right ankle is quite tight, so I need to definitely do some exercises. My left knee is actually okay for now, but still very important to do a cool down because I didn't warm up. I did pace myself very much at the start and throughout, but I did 5.5 kilometers without stopping, which is just insane. I can't remember the last time I ran a 5k without stopping to walk. So to suddenly jump to 5.5 is awesome. And actually I ran 6k but just had a 300-meter walk in the middle, and that 300-meter walk in the middle was very steeply uphill. But even if it wasn't, I'd forgive myself, but it's just very cool that I've done that. I'm gonna cool down a little bit and maybe eat a banana. There's a banana right in front of me. Stretch, drink some water, and then I'll sit and chat to you about how it actually went and what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. But overall, I'm very, very, very pleased. Yay, I'll see you soon. One thing I mentioned the first time I filmed, but not just now, is that it's very wet outside. Very light rain. It was really lovely to run in. Actually, it was the perfect temperature for me, but my shoes are not weatherproof, so I've learned. And I could definitely feel my socks being very wet. What I didn't feel and only saw when I got home, first of all, is a hole in my sock. And second of all, once again, is blood. Why is there always blood on my toes? Luckily, I couldn't feel it, which is definitely, you know, if you can't feel it, it doesn't really matter. But it's not ideal. Anyway, let me heat up some food. I had the banana, but I'm gonna have some proper food because I also haven't had lunch and it's 4:10. So let me do that and then I will chat you through everything. Hello, I've got a lovely bowl of vegetarian pasta bolognese, which I'm not really in the mood for, but I know it's probably like the perfect meal to have after a run, especially like a quote-unquote high-intensity run in terms of what I've done in a long while. As I said earlier, I did really try to pace myself because I knew I wanted to do the 5k, and honestly, I can't believe it worked. But I felt really good. I think I popped in around 3.5 kilometers. I felt so good, and I really felt, I knew in my head, I was like, I think I can get to 6. The only thing was, just after I hit 4 kilometers, I did try and go a slightly different route so that I would have no more uphills until that big uphill, which I think mostly did work. And yeah, honestly, I'm just really proud of myself. And not only that, this felt like the easiest run I've done in such a long time. Don't get me wrong, it's still not easy and it's still not necessarily fun, although this weather definitely makes it much more enjoyable for me. But my heart felt less intense and like my breathing didn't feel as bad, which often is a big thing for me. In fact, I had a discussion with my brother very early on because he was a runner, I don't know if he still runs, and he asked me at the time what I struggled most with, and I said it was my stamina, my breathing. My body didn't feel any pain really, it was really just my like being out of breath. And he said that's really lucky because for him it's like leg pain and whatever else. So as I said, this time I did have some pains, nothing terrible and nothing that made me want to stop running, which maybe will be a problem, you know, in the next couple of days. But my breathing felt really steady, and again, maybe that is because I went slower from the get-go. And I really, truly did not care about my speed. I was just like, I just need to get to 5k. And I feel like I have so much to say to people who want to start running. So I think I'm going to put that in a whole separate video, because yeah, I have a lot of thoughts and this run has sort of proven that to me even more. But this run has now made me think, maybe I can do a marathon, which is crazy. Like, I need to do 7 times what I did today. 7 times. That's crazy. It's crazy, but equally I'm like, yeah, that's doable. Anyway, we're gonna have to take it one run at a time. But this has also made me feel really positive. I put as my resolution that I really wanted to do a 10k this year, just like in training or, you know, by myself. It didn't need to be a race. And initially when I put that down as a resolution, I figured that will be something. Like, I didn't expect myself to be able to run the whole thing, whereas now I think I will be able to get back to running a full 10k without stopping, which is cool. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So I did 6.14 kilometers in 45 minutes, which was an average tempo of 7:22, which is slow. I know that's considered slow for runners, but I don't really care. I did 6k and I got through it and I feel good. I feel good about running, which I haven't done in such a long time. So let's have a look at the breakdowns. This is really funny. Even though I really tried to pace myself for the first kilometre, I still did it in 6:06. Admittedly, there is some downhill on that first kilometre, but still, that's very funny, considering I was really trying to go slow, and actually that's quite fast for me. Second was 7:07, third was 7:37, fourth was 7:49, fifth was 7:24, then the sixth was a bit slower because that's where I walked, then that was 8:15, and then the last point one, which I was running, was 6:50. There you can see a breakdown. I don't know what all those dips are, I think they're lies, except at the very end here. But yay. Listen, I'm truly so happy that it was such a success, and that I got myself outdoors, so that feels good. One of the things that really prevented me from going out, well, one of the reasons that it took me longer to leave, a huge part was just my own, like, trying to decide whether or not to run. And a big part of that actually was also just the fact that I washed my hair yesterday and I was like, oh, I don't want to get it gross, which is so dumb. And I'm really glad I didn't let that affect my decision. But the other thing is that I really want to try and listen to audiobooks now while I'm running. I feel like maybe I can. People always used to recommend it, audiobooks and podcasts, but I thought it wouldn't work with the voice, like, stopping to talk and tell me how far I was going and blah, blah, blah. And admittedly, I like the bounce and the beat of the music. But then, I think it was last week when I was walking, I did have an audiobook, not for the running bit, but when I was walking and still had it on the Strava app. And it just paused the book perfectly, and then it jumped back to, like, the sentence before it had paused, and then carried on. So I feel like that is doable. And so I was trying to find an audiobook, and I just couldn't find any. I'm really trying to read through my to-read list this year, and none of the books on that list were available now and, you know, available in my library app. So that was a bit annoying, and I did end up listening to Spotify, but there were a couple of Katri songs in there which really gave me a boost. And yeah, just overall it was really good. So I'm now going to finish eating this, then I'm going to have a shower, and then I'm going to try and film my January favourites. That was another reason why I didn't want to go for a run, because I didn't want to lose out on daylight. Too bad. Honestly, too bad. And if not today, I can do it another day. That's really not, it's not super urgent. I've got 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very happy. I may chat to you later. I may not. Bye. Hi. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that when I did stop to walk at the 5.5 kilometers, my lower back was insanely sore. And don't get me wrong, I've always got a bad back, and like that's expected, but whatever was happening, I've not had something like that before. It was really strange. And it's not a place I would expect to have pain, you know, whilst running. I could only think of 2 reasons. Number 1 is my posture while running maybe, but again, I've never had this problem before. Or number 2, I was breathing in a different way and that maybe affected it. I don't know. It has more or less gone, but it's hard to tell because I do still have back pain, because I always have back pain. But that twinge that I got, and it really only was while I was walking, because then when I did start to run again, I didn't notice it. Very odd. Anyway, I've obviously showered, I've put away the laundry, which is good, I've been editing a little bit, I've been trying to learn some more of these songs for the showcase I'm doing. I finally found a book to read, at least for now. It's only a 6-hour book, so it won't be very long. But I just wanted to listen to something while I was putting away the laundry, which only took 5 minutes. But I think this is going to be a good one. I think I'm going to enjoy this. And it was from my to-read list, so that's good. I don't think I have anything else to share for now, but as and when, I'm sure I will let you know. I realised, because tomorrow I'll be finishing work, you know, at whatever time, a regular finish time, and then I'm going to be coming straight home, which I presume I'm going to be doing by bus, because that's usually how I get home from work. And I was thinking, I don't remember the last time I've taken a bus home from work. And the reason why is because I've been doing so much on Mondays and Tuesdays. Like if I work backwards, last week on Tuesday I went to a dance class, on Monday I saw a friend and a show. The week before that, on the Tuesday again, I went to a dance class. I don't know what I did on the Monday. Or maybe that week I didn't work the Monday, I worked the Wednesday, and that Wednesday I then went on to my other job, so I took the tube. Then the week before that, again on the Tuesday I think I went to see a show, and I can't remember what I did on the Monday, but that's already 3 weeks ago. And then the week before that, I definitely went to a dance class with a different friend on the Tuesday. I can't remember what I did on the Monday. But very odd, very strange. But anyway, so the reason I was thinking about it is because Wayne's going to be off tomorrow, so he'll be home. And just thinking about what time I'd be getting home, essentially. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now. I'm going to film my January favourites now, which is something I wanted to do, obviously. And then I think I'm all caught up more or less on my to-do list, which is great. I still don't feel 100% confident with the songs at all, so I definitely need to spend a bit more time on that. But aside from that, obviously I'm going to have to edit and upload the January favourites video, but I do feel more on top of things. But anyway, I'll see you soon. Hello, I've had supper, I've watched more YouTube, I've been very chill. It wasn't the healthiest supper, but I don't care. I am trying to be more conscious just about not having garbage as often as I was, but I also don't want to limit pleasures. And it's definitely about finding a balance. You don't want to say, right, you can't have anything nice, but you also don't want to let yourself have everything and then feel icky. And for me, it's really not about weight. I think I've already spoken on this channel about how much I don't care about that, but it is just about feeling good in my body. And especially now that I'm running again, maybe, you just really want to make sure you're putting in the right things. And tonight wasn't it was carbs, so I suppose that's good, but it wasn't the healthiest. I'm conscious that I very rarely eat vegetables at home, and I struggle with it. And the main reason why I struggle is the vegetables that I know and like, not very frequently, a couple of times in my life or in the last year or whatever, I've found animals in them, like insects, bugs, whatever, and I worry so much, like every step of the way. And I do everything I can, but it makes me, like, the thought of it makes me so uncomfortable. And it's got to the point now where even when I'm somewhere else, I worry about eating those vegetables. And it's not irrational, you know, it's like I've seen it myself. So that's problem one. And then problem two is the other vegetables that I like that don't have that problem generally take longer to prepare and cook. And I just want things I can, you know, throw on essentially. But I do want to make more of an effort to eat vegetables this year, or at least like make soups and eat soup vegetables, you know? But we'll see what we do about that. About, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2 hours ago, I got a message from one of my bosses. And I've just responded to it, and I just feel very adult. I've always been sort of quite a confident and I would say mature person, but certainly over the last few years, I would say sort of since the ship, I've really come into my own. I've known sort of a bit more how to set boundaries, still not great, but slightly more. And I feel like I've been able to maybe prove or actualize the confidence I already had. Like, I always felt confident in myself, even when I was like, you know, a young teenager or whatever, but I didn't necessarily exhibit that, I guess. Whereas now I feel like I know my own worth and my own value. And that's very terrifying in a way, because I don't want to come across like I'm boasting. But on the other hand, like, it feels so good. And this was a nice conversation, don't get me wrong, this might now sound like, you know, they were telling me something or whatever, I don't know. But I had this realization when I did message back, like, I am able to, and don't get me wrong, like the other day I still asked my parents for help with an email I sent. So like, I'm still a child and I still need help, and I'm definitely not completely like sustainable or whatever. But it's nice to like have that belief and confidence in myself and then also show it and use it. Because I feel like having been more sort of expressive, I guess, of it has meant that it's led me to more opportunities. Obviously not necessarily in the field that I want to be in, because obviously I want to get performing work, but in the jobs that I have, in all the jobs that I've had, I would say since the ship, it's put me in a really good position. Actually, even before then, I would say Lapland was already sort of an extension from Greece, and that was already sort of giving me a couple more opportunities, not necessarily ones I wanted, but I was already sort of being recognized, I guess, for that. And now I feel like over the years, more opportunities are coming my way because I'm proving that and not just proving, I'm exhibiting, again, I'm using the same words, but because I'm willing to showcase the confidence I already have inside. It's really cool. It's nice to like have these moments of reflection where you suddenly realize like, wow. And I always come back to my first job, my first proper job. I did a lot of babysitting, but my first proper job, there were supervisor roles, and I never sort of applied, I never showed interest. But I knew that from the way I was working, where I was working, I was right for that. And I knew that should have been my opportunity. But I was young, and I knew I was young, like even for being in the business that I was in. And even though I knew from myself that I was capable of it, I didn't dare show it, I guess, or like question it or ask for it. And don't get me wrong, like I don't regret that necessarily. It's not like I look back and I think, oh, I should have become a supervisor. But that is like an example. And actually a similar thing happened then in a job in Ireland, the job I had there, where again, very early on, well, not very early on, but you know, within a couple of months, I felt I could be a supervisor. And again, I just didn't ask for it. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. And I think it was only like a year and a half, maybe 2 years in, maybe even more, that the manager approached me and said, hey, do you want to become a supervisor? And I jumped at the opportunity, but that could have happened so much earlier. And it would have been nice to do that earlier. But we're growing, we're learning, and life continues to happen. And it's fun to find these newer versions of myself that were always in there, I think, but just like finding the space for them. Anyway, I'm gonna watch some more YouTube now, I think, and just chill. And I will see you all probably maybe tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see, maybe tonight still, if I've got anything else to share with you. Or maybe this is the end of the vlog, although I don't think so, because I think it's only starting today. Anyway, we'll see. Bye! I'm back. One thing Wayne often comments on is that I am very much if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And that's not always true. In fact, it's very often not true. As I've mentioned a number of times already, I'm quite lazy and I'll very often just stay in bed. Or like my run today, it took me an extra hour and a half before I actually went out and did it. And there are definitely plenty of other examples. But there are plenty of examples where I do just do the thing. And the main reason why this has come up recently is because if I say I'm going to switch off my phone at 11:10, I will switch off my phone at 11:10. Or if I say, okay, we're gonna watch one more Instagram reel and then I'm gonna go to sleep, or at least I'll stop being on Instagram, I will do that, even no matter how good it is, no matter how tempting. So that's why it's come up. But I feel like in a way tonight has been another example of that, because I don't even know how this got started. I was looking for my Fitbit and I wanted to see if I could connect it to Strava. And so while I was looking for it, it was on this bedside table. And first of all, the top of it was annoying me. And then the drawers were also a little bit messy. I haven't gone through them fully, but I did just start working through. And usually with that kind of thing, I definitely wouldn't do it because I would want to wait so I could film it and, you know, share it with you because it's good content. But on this occasion, I was just like, nope, I just want to clear it. And I mean, I threw away maybe 4 pieces of paper, but everything else is just staying where it is. It's just a matter of like rejigging it, I guess. And so I started with the top drawer, which is where the Fitbit was in. And then I thought actually the top of the nightstand's a little bit messy, so I cleaned that up. And then I thought I may as well do the bottom drawer, you know, while I'm at it. And actually after all that, I still haven't found my charger, which is annoying, and my camera battery's about to die. But yeah, I just think it's funny that I can just sort of hyper-focus and, you know, get on with it. But I do think this is now going to be the end of today's filming, but I'll see you all very soon, hopefully. Bye!